Welcome to San Antonio's Influence Magazine show, the premier talk show where we introduce you to influential individuals doing significant work in the city of San Antonio and surrounding areas. Celebrate the spirit of business, leadership, and innovation. If this is your first time joining us and you'd like more information, you could find us at influencesa.com. That's influencesa.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and for this particular episode of the show, all future and past episodes of the show, pull up your YouTube search bar, toss in San Antonio's Influence Magazine show. When you get there, please subscribe, give us a like or a thumbs up, and hit that bell so that you don't miss any future episodes of the show. Art galleries. Very necessary staple in any thriving downtown community. Today we're in the Eye of the Beholder Art Gallery in downtown San Antonio, and we're here to meet the founder and owner, Miss Maria Hazelwood Williams. When we come back, we'll meet Maria.
As I developed an appreciation for my personal originality and uniqueness, I began to love the fact that I was different. As I uncovered my individual preferences and my interests, I became comfortable with the real me.
Presented by Cedric D. Fisher and Company Publishers. In a world where identity is often challenged and cultures collide, one woman's journey shows us the power of resilience, self-discovery, and the unbreakable bonds of family. Born in Hong Kong and raised in America, Helen Yee faced the struggles of finding her place in a new land. Confronted by racism, cultural differences, and personal adversity, Helen's story is one of courage and determination. Inspired by her grandfather's legacy of integrity and entrepreneurship, Helen embarked on a journey of self-discovery. She learned to defend herself against all odds, even fighting off an armed carjacker and escaping with her life. Through the discipline of martial arts, music, and entrepreneurship, Helen found a way to reconnect with her heritage and discover her inner strength. She became a successful business owner and a professional musician, proving that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. I Belong Here is a powerful memoir that takes readers on a journey from the streets of Hong Kong to the heartland of America. It's a story of family, friendship, and the unbreakable bonds that tie us all together. Helen's journey will inspire you to embrace your own uniqueness, face your challenges head-on, and find your place in the world. It's a testament to the human spirit and the power of believing in yourself. I Belong Here, Living the Life I Was Born For in America by Helen H. Yee. Available now wherever books are sold. Discover the extraordinary story of a woman who found her voice and her place in the world.
Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
It's been a few years since we came to see you, so you got to catch us up on a lot of information. To get started, let's. You're obviously well known around town, but for folks that don't know you, talk to us about your background. Tell us your story.
Okay. My name is Maria Williams, Maria Hazelwood Williams, because I still honor my father. We moved here in '79 as a military brat. My dad was in the United States Army here in San Antonio. Went to school. Tried to escape a couple of times, but something about San Antonio kept bringing me back. And I had an event company called Majestic Events by Maria for 25 years. Got into doing the arts just when I noticed the lack of representation here in the city. And I knew great artists, I knew extraordinary artists, and wanted to see how we could get their art shown as well. I went around the city, found that there was no place that was specific for the Black artist. Now please keep in mind we have the Carver Community Cultural Center. The Carver is owned by the city. But I think being independent gives me a little more freedom to show all aspects of Black art in San Antonio. And so I started in the Eye of the Beholder Art Gallery, which was actually developed out of our art initiative. Our art initiative, which is the Art of Four, which has blossomed from 40 to 50, but we're still called the Art of Four Art Initiative.
Okay. Offline, we spoke a little bit about your background. Your parents are your dad's from Panama?
Yes, yes.
And mom is from?
Yes, my mom was born in Mariano, Cuba,
okay.
And my father was from Panama.
And you were born in?
Germany.
Germany. Okay.
Yes, I was born in Germany.
Military?
Military, yes.
Okay. So you have an event planning background?
I do.
And did that expose you to art to give you kind of the motivation to?
No, you know, it's so funny. I can tell you when I was young, I had a brother who was a drama student. And one day I got mad and said something to him, and he shook me only like a drama student would by the shoulders and told me, "You will have culture. If it's the last thing I do in my life, you will have culture." Well, my brother passed away, and it was crazy because I was at an event when a woman came up and spoke to me, and she said, "I think you would be a great board member for the Carver Community Cultural Center." And that kind of sparked an interest of sorts, and I took that seat in honor of my brother. And then, yes, I think as time went on, I got familiar with art.
So as a child, were you around a lot of art?
Well, I was around a lot of art
did you
because
have an interest or?
It was not an interest.
Okay.
It was something that my parents made sure that we were exposed to. We always went to museums. We went to art galleries, always. I thought that was normal. I thought everyone had that opportunity. And then as I got older, I learned that it wasn't what everyone had the opportunity to be exposed to.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And that has also had an impact on how I run the gallery. The gallery, it's very important to me that children are exposed to the arts. So often I have parents who say to me, or I'll say, "Oh, make sure you bring your children," after they tell me they have children. And they'll go, "Oh, you don't want my child." And one of the things that is amazing is when children, I don't care how rambunctious they are, when children walk into this gallery and they capture these images, they're completely different. They're completely different from even what their parents expect. And so, I think one of many of my goals with the gallery is to make sure that children are exposed to the arts.
Yeah.
It's an important part of life. Their creativity is also their expression, and that's what I learned. And as children, sometimes you don't know how to express verbally, but if you give a child a paintbrush and a canvas, you'd be amazed at what you may find out about that child.
That's good. A lot of kids as well are, once they get exposed to the arts, it opens their mind for other creative avenues that they didn't even think about,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. One of the things I'm most proud of is the art that we are showing by the Lytle Independent School District. We have a program where we ask the art teachers if they have art or a project that they want us to exhibit here at the gallery. They would just submit that, and we will. So you'll see some art here that are math that are done by children from the Lytle Independent School District. And it's one of my proudest. I love all my artists, but it's one of my proudest to show that.
As a child, did you have a favorite artist or something that you really remember?
My brother,
Maybe
Junior.
Ernie Barnes or...
No, I wouldn't even know who Ernie Barnes is until now. Now I know who Ernie Barnes. But no, not then. My brother Junior, the same one who was the drama student.
Okay.
He was also an artist.
He was an artist.
Yes.
Painter?
Yes.
Yeah.
He painted, he drew, he did beautiful sketch work. I would say that Clifton Jr., I would say that he was a creative in every way.
Okay. So as you think back now to your childhood, after building all of this, and we'll take a little walk around in a minute here, can you connect some of the things that you were exposed to as a child to what you've done in here? Even the mention of bringing more kids to this experience?
Well, I've never thought of that question. I've never thought about it, but when I look around, even how I display art and what attracts me, makes me think of my mother. Right, my mother was a creative, and they probably wouldn't have called her a creative back then, but she was a creative, and I would attribute some of this to her.
Yeah, okay. We're going to take a quick break. We're here with Maria Hazelwood Williams. We'll be right back.
Influence starts with connection through video. Video marketing builds trust, attracts high-value clients, and turns followers into customers. But without the right strategy, it's just noise.
I help health and wellness and personal development leaders become in-demand influencers on camera, deliver a message that attracts their dream clients, and turn their videos into real revenue.
Learn how to elevate your personal brand and stand out as a trusted expert. Discover how to deliver compelling messaging that resonates with your audience. Learn to overcome fear and master confidence on camera with authenticity.
I created the on-camera video marketing Launchpad to give you the jump start that you need and deserve.
Results start the moment you do. Tap the link or scan the QR code to learn more with On-Camera Video Marketing Launchpad.
Maria, your art gallery has an interesting name. I'm sure you gave it a lot of thought before naming the gallery. Is there a story behind that, if any?
It's not really a story, it is a statement. In the eye of the beholder, and it leans back to why I started the gallery. The lack of exposure for the Black artist, the lack of respect to me of the Black artist, and within the eye of the beholder, it's almost like a Black art matters statement. The beauty of the art is in the eye of the beholder, and we're not going to limit that. So that was my thought process on In the Eye of the Beholder.
So your gallery's given a lot of African American artists an opportunity to display their work.
Yes.
And was that a big part of your your give back or pay forward, or you just really wanted to get them more exposure in a city like ours, where they may not have too many opportunities?
It was the fact that they didn't have the same opportunities. It was the fact that it's my community. I knew Black artists who were very talented and had beautiful work, and why not? Why wasn't there those same opportunities offered to them to be exposed, have their work seen? And that was it, really. It was about representation of my community in the arts.
Yeah, so that makes you somewhat of an advocate then for Black fine art.
People will tell
How
you.
does that make you feel?
It makes me feel wonderful. I call myself an art activist, so that's an Artivist.
Artivist, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting name. Good.
Yeah.
So that's activist, advocate,
yes,
artist.
All of the above, yeah.
All in the same.
Yeah, all in the same. And it is all of who I am.
Very good, very good. In a city like San Antonio, and we can kind of consider ourselves an emerging metropolis, maybe. What role does an art gallery play in the ecosystem of a thriving community?
Well, I always say it's important to use all of the artists for the tapestry of a community. You can't leave a certain segment out. If you're going to tell the story, you're going to tell the whole story. And art is included in that. And that, again, we're back to representation and expression of that community. And so for me, it's very important, art. And that's art across the board. I will let you know that, yes, we are an art gallery, but I advocate for all art across the board. So the art of four is literary arts, performing arts, visual arts, media arts as well.
Okay. For an artist, a thriving artist out there, or an aspiring artist, and they're interested in getting in the gallery, what's the process they have to go through?
You know, I tell everyone, there's no way that you can interview an artist. It is not an interview.
So you don't do a sit-down interview? And
what I do is have a conversation. And usually, that's how it starts. A number of times, a few of my artists have become artists of our gallery by coming in and acting like they're just browsing and that they're, you know, a member of the community. And then
they get the courage.
Yes, they get, exactly. They'll get the courage, you know, because I always ask, would you like a tour? Would you like to, you know, walk around on your own? And then question me, and they'll come to my office or ask me, so how does one get their artwork into your gallery? And then I know, right? And I love it. You know, once they get comfortable, and I ask them that question, are you an artist? And once they say yes, which you would do, it's unbelievable how often I don't get a yes. I get, and then they bring out these beautiful pieces of art that they've done, and I just sit down and have a conversation. It's important to have an alignment with the artist. Just because I'm an art gallery, I still have to work with that person, and so we need to be on the same page. There might be a way that I handle something in the gallery that they don't like. Most of the time, when artists come in, I don't even allow them to sign an agreement or the contract the same day, because I have this conversation, we get to that part, and I say, now, go home, take a few days, think about this conversation, think about if you like this woman, if you want to deal with her, think of questions that you may have now before we sign an agreement so we can move forward. So I guess it is a process, but it's just normal for me to have a conversation. And I think usually by an end of the conversation, we'll know if they're coming back or if they agree with, you know, who I am and what the gallery does.
Yeah. So the anatomy, I'm learning that the anatomy of most artists is they tend to be introverted, and maybe they don't really have a voice, and maybe they don't represent themselves well, but their art speaks for them.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking of certain artists, and I'm like, oh, they got a voice. It is their way of expression, yes.
Is their art.
It is their art. And I think it allows for what they cannot say, or what they wish they could say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely their form of expression.
Mm-hmm. I've followed artists most of my career and my lifetime too, and it seems that a lot of artists do much better when they pass away. Do you find that to be a fact? Or their art sells better? And
well, I think what that has to do with, you know, they're not making any more art, right? Okay. So get what you can get.
Interesting.
They're gone. I hate saying it that way, but that's the reality. But I try and encourage, don't forget about the living artist. They have to live,
okay.
Right? Even when you purchase art from an artist who's passed away, it's going to an estate, or it's going to the gallery, or whomever is in charge. But that artist doesn't get to experience the fruits of their labor, if you will. So yeah, and art supplies cost a lot of money. People don't realize art supplies cost a lot of money. They just don't go poof and it's there. So when you are investing in their piece of art, you are actually investing in the artist as well, because that gives them more to create with. It gives them more to create with,
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a thing about artists who have passed. I will say this, I just recently, very proudly, acquired Doc Spellman. Doc Spellman is an artist that was living here from San Antonio. Very controversial art that he did in his time. He was a man that was in the military. He had a lot to do with the founding of San Antonio Ethnic Art Society here in San Antonio. And about a year and a half ago, a gentleman called me and said, I bought a storage unit and I found some Doc Spellmans. I was like, wow.
Wow.
Because I actually have an artist, I have a couple artists who knew Doc. And I called Miss Claudette Hopkins. I was like, Miss Claudette, this gentleman's telling me he has this Doc. And she goes, I wouldn't be surprised. Just 2 weeks ago, he brought me the Doc Spellman. He is a Caucasian gentleman. He says, because it's very controversial, I'll show it to you. He says, I didn't feel right selling it, but I also knew the history of Doc Spellman. And I looked for a black art gallery, and you were the one that came up, and I thought it was significant to bring it back to San Antonio and have your art gallery represent this piece and sell it for us.
Is it in the gallery now?
Yes, it is in the gallery.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I'm very proud. I was honored, actually. So.
Speaking of controversial, when you get an artist like a piece like that, have you ever turned away something that you thought was too controversial?
I've never turned away anything that I thought was controversial. No.
Okay. But you do give it a, kind of judge it or assess it and critique and
make
a decision.
I have to make a decision, and I do critique the work.
Yeah.
You're asking me this question when I'm just coming off of the first time having to turn away an artist.
Oh.
It wasn't that it wasn't controversial. They're trying to find their way. And that's something that I encourage. But sometimes they get influenced, and not necessarily the best way. We are a fine art gallery. We are a contemporary fine art gallery. Not to offend anyone, but we don't do arts and crafts. And there's a fine line. Because sometimes people get caught up in 2D and 3D, and if you don't know where to stop, it becomes crafty instead of artistic, if you can understand that.
Interesting.
So that's the only
it's pretty
time.
deep, but I'm following.
It's the only time, and it was heart-wrenching, because this artist has great promise. Sometimes they allow the wrong people to influence them. I'm not going to tell you, yeah, that's great if it's not. I will try to be gentle and share with you, maybe you want to think about this, maybe you want to think about that, because I saw the direction they were going, which was great. And then I saw, apparently, where someone came in and advised her, instead of her knowing her boundaries and her technique. So that's the only time I've ever turned away an artist. The only time, and it messed with me for days.
So you said she was trying to find herself? Or
their technique and what medium is great for them.
So she was still kind of working on her focus.
And I had seen the work previously, because I was concerned, because it was time for a solo show. And I was thrilled. I was like, oh my gosh, she's coming so far. And what I saw, I liked, and I was excited about bringing it into the gallery. And then when it was time to deliver the artwork to the gallery, I was like, where's the art that I saw? She had gone back and done some things that made it crafty. and it was no longer artistic. And I was speaking to her in a very kind and way to explain it to her. And she, not everyone can take critiques, me included. But so I know how it feels. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever had to turn away art, and it was, as you can see, it still messes with me because I don't want her to stop creating. I just want her to find her way.
Yeah, which was still an act of love, just tough love, right?
It truly was.
Art is in the eye of the beholder, right? Or art appreciation,
right.
Let's say. And I once taught at a local university here, and I used to teach our journalism students that stories are unique to each individual because some people approach it from the bird's eye view, others from the worm's eye view, and they get something different out of it. So art is obviously storytelling. What do you find when you meet an artist that their art is really telling about them?
I find
what story is it telling you about them, the artist?
Well, it really depends on what I'm looking at with each artist, because again, we're getting back to expression, and so every artist is going to be different. It may show me joy, it may show me sadness, it may show me depression. Some art can really be dark, and then some art can really be bright and joyful. So it really depends on the artist and what I'm looking at. But it does tell a story. It does tell you somewhat of who that artist is.
And most artists typically paint from or do their art from experience, right? From maybe trauma or.
Well, I know most people think that. Some not necessarily. You look at someone like Frigga, and it's just the joy of color and the uniqueness of each character that she draws. So it doesn't always have to be drama or trauma. I know a lot of times people think that it's just it's what they're seeing. It's what's going in their brain and their minds. Yeah. Creatives are, I believe, wired differently.
Okay. We have the privilege of interviewing a lot of leaders on the show, and CEOs and owners and founders. One thing we've noticed is that most leaders are readers. They typically have a book that they enjoy reading, and that book is likely on their nightstand, Maria. What book's on your nightstand?
Oh, wow. Actually, right now, The Art of Black Art.
Okay.
That was a gift to me by a dear friend who recently passed away, Dr. Odwin Anderson. I never get tired of art. I never get tired of looking at art. And so that's one that's on the nightstand. I was actually trying to think of another.
The Art of Black Art.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds like a good book. Good
read.
It is
a great book.
A lot of images.
A lot of images, and it talks about the whys and the inspiration of the pieces. But it's all types of art, from paintings to sculptures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A member of our team here mentioned some research that she had found that Aristotle says that art is truer than history. How do you feel about that?
I believe that Aristotle is correct. My saying comes from Paul Robeson, who said that artists, and he meant artists across the board, are historians. They are showing what is going on in their time. And I totally agree. So, yes, I agree with Aristotle.
Okay. So art is more of a true representation of history.
A depiction of right, absolutely.
Than a lot of historians and what they're telling.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it, but it's visual.
Could be. Okay.
It's the visual side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
With historians, you got to listen a little more, and with art, you just take a look at it.
Okay. I understand you were recently selected to sit on a certain board or a certain group that's doing some great work in the city. Can you talk to us about
Well, there's a gentleman by the name, an artist by the name of David Casas, and
David Casas.
yes,
David
and
Casas.
David was awarded a grant, and he had always told me, you know, the comment was just made if I was an artist. He's always told me, you're an artist, you just do it through curating. You're an artist and you just do it through curating. And he always told me when he had that opportunity that he was going to put me in that place. And so he did put me in that place, and I will be doing Mujeres Hermosa de Vidas. And I hope I said that correctly for my mother and father to be proud, as well as David, that I said it correctly, but beautiful women. And so I will be curating that exhibit.
That's fantastic.
I'm so honored.
So when you get an opportunity like that, because that's very special to be selected, does your culture your background come through in what you might be able to contribute to?
Well, I will say, you know, yes.
Because Panama,
Yes.
Cuba.
I will say yes, because when I think about the women that I will be exhibiting, if I get that, all of what I need, will be my mother, right? My mother, and then my grandmother, and my grandmother is from Barbados. My tia Aminta, who was my father's sister, who was very influential in my life. My tia Doris, who was extremely, she probably doesn't even know because I was so young, but I have beautiful memories of her. So these were all the women that influenced who I am.
Barbados too.
Yes, Barbados, Antigua, yeah, my family were, my father, the story is, there were 7 brothers and they were all sea merchants. We'll just leave it at that. There was a port, so there are Hazelwoods all over the world, yeah.
Good, that's exciting. Let's talk about a few of the artists here, but before we do, any big events coming up in the gallery here that you might want to talk about?
We do. We have a couple of events. On September 13th, we'll be having Sounds of Souffle, who will feature Andrea Vocab, if you are familiar with Andrea Vocab, and Veronica Williams and Jay Gordon. So they'll be performing here, because we are going to start having music here in the gallery once a month. So they will be the first. And then October 2nd, we'll be hosting the first day of the San Antonio Black International Film Festival with artists Steve and Antoine Prince. And we're so excited. That will be their second time being here at the gallery. They were the first guest artists we had when we opened the gallery. So we're thrilled to have them back.
Are these events on your website or someplace folks can get more information?
They will be.
They will be. Okay. So it's in process. No problem. Talk to us about some of the art here.
So yes,
some of the great artists.
This young lady, who is 87, I believe, this is Frigga. And Frigga is an artist out of Germany. I was introduced to Frigga by her daughter. Her daughter is Akitame, and her daughter is from Nigeria. So we have both of them. And then we have another Nigerian artist, Ajadu. We have Steve Prince and Antoine Prince. They're both from Louisiana, New Orleans. Artists such as Delaney Middleton, Carmen Cardenas Johnson, and I can never forget Miss Claudette Hopkins, who's been creating here in San Antonio for over 60 years, and her biggest fan was Lila Cockrell. And so Lila Cockrell collected a lot of her work. And I'm happy to say that we have artists who have been artists and creatives all their life, and they're later in their years, and now they're becoming popular, such as this gentleman here who is Ron Davis, Ron Davis Sr. So we were proud to carry his work, because his son came to me and said, "My dad's an artist, but the only one that knows is the family." And he goes, but Maria, he's really good, so he brought his art. So now we're able to carry his art. And his dad, I believe, was in his 60s, mid-60s, and had never shown his work. That makes me very proud to give that opportunity. The same with Delaney Middleton. Yeah, we have artists from all over, so we're international and local.
And some of the masks that you have on display, we'll take some photos here in a little bit. Some of the masks are from the children?
From the children at Lytle Independent School District, yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Giving them a shout out, Lytle.
Yay, Lytle.
Very good. Any parting words you'd like to share with the viewing audience?
I would like to say we're here in St. Paul Square on the 3rd floor, which is historical in itself. I'm very proud to be here at St. Paul. If you know the history of St. Paul at all, this was the African American hub of San Antonio. And so to have our gallery here is quite an honor. I also find it very important to let the folks know that yes, we are a Black art gallery, but we are a Black art gallery that practices inclusion, and I look for passion and talent.
Okay, that's well said. If folks need more information, where can they find you?
They can find our website, eyeofthebeholderartgallery.com, and they can always call me as well, 210-454-4908.
Okay, you guys got it. Maria, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, and we'll see all of you next time.